Maybe we should play hide and seek. Or maybe it's the little girl. If it's the little girl, can you run down the hall? What was that? Just here to find a little bit more about you. Is the doctor in? Jake, is that you following us around? Huh? Are you playing a game?
After our investigation at the Homestead House Brothel Museum the night before, the team took the time to take in the local sights. Some of the sites have many, many lights. We didn't walk out of the casinos rich, but what we learned from the rich and diverse history of this area in Teller County, we came out winners. For a brief moment, anyway. That is until this found its way into an OSP mobile tire. Luckily, it was repairable, and we were back to being tourists in no time. Victor, Colorado. 10,000 feet in elevation, the city of mines, and just a few miles from Cripple Creek. It too has quite a history as well. Like Cripple Creek, Victor was also founded shortly after gold was discovered nearby. By 1893, it was already known as the City of Mines because the largest and richest gold mines of the Cripple Creek Mining District were located just above Victor on Battle Mountain. Within a year, the town's population was already 8,000, and just a short 5 years later, the town boasted nearly 20,000 residents. However, in 1899, just like Cripple Creek, a late August fire swept through this bustling town, destroying nearly everything. But mountain folks are resilient, and they rebuilt their town in less than 6 months. This time out of brick. However, depleted ore from nearby mines and the exodus of miners during World War I created an economic downturn that Victor really never recovered from. Today, just a tad over 400 live in this once bustling mining town. Tonight we are investigating the Victor Lowell Thomas Museum. Here they celebrate Victor's native son, Lowell Thomas. Thomas made his mark in radio and television for over 50 years, covering local and area news, and traveled the world, filming in the trenches at the Western Front during World War I. Thomas also is credited with making Lawrence of Arabia a famous war hero, and even worked with the British as an advisor on Arab affairs. Lowell Thomas is considered by many to be one of the most famous journalists from the 20th century. The museum is housed in an original 1899 building that once served as a hotel, a grocery store, and a hardware store. A major restoration project occurred in 2007 to save this building, which had not been fully repaired since it caught fire in 1952. But this town was determined to save it. Now, not only does it contain personal items from Lowell Thomas himself, but the two-story building also has old mining equipment displays and some personal artifacts of Mary and Victor Adams, who some say the town of Victor was named after. The Victor Lowell Thomas Museum has had its fair share of unusual activity. At the museum, a young boy named Jake seems to wander through the rooms and sometimes makes noises that rattle the nerves of both staff and visitors. Upstairs in the museum, the glasses of Lowell Thomas have been reported to move on their own, from their resting place in one display room to another. Contractors working in the basement and upstairs have reported unexplained presences, and in past years, several staff members have refused to venture to the upper level, where they hear voices of a small girl.
Please, come back. Don't leave me.
See, I already heard knocking. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Back here. With museum board member Connie and museum employee Jaden accompanying us, we begin the investigation in the museum basement, where workers and staff members claim to see a little boy named Jake and feel uneasiness. Immediately, some of us heard knocking sounds coming from the basement. Investigator Steve then heard what sounded like footsteps on the dirt floor.
Is there anybody walking around? I mean, down here.
No. Right now?
Well, I think there's some feet shuffling.
Shuffling, I mean.
If there's anyone down here with us tonight, my name is Neil, and I'm here with a few other guys. I'll let them introduce themselves. We're old school paranormal. Came out a long ways. We're not here to scare anyone that might still be residing here or try to get you to leave. We're just interested in communicating with you. I'll just let everybody else introduce themselves.
I'm Steve. Thanks for letting us in.
I'm Kevin. Again, thank you, and just to let you know, we're all the way from Kansas.
I'm Scott. Like the other guys have said, thanks for allowing us here. None of the pieces of equipment or gadgets will hurt you. So we just ask that you communicate with us.
There's a story of a little boy named Jake that seems to wander around this building, whether it's the basement, the main floor, or the second floor. Jake, are you with us? Can you come out and talk to us, please?
Kids have often found the gadgets kind of fun to play with. Because like I said, they do make, some make noises and different colors of light. So we encourage you to get close to one of those pieces of equipment.
Jade and I heard some tapping, what sounded like on wood, as soon as we got to the bottom of the stairs. Can you do that for us again, please?
If you talk to us, we can hear you. We have some gadgets that will record your voice, so just feel free to talk.
Well, I'm Connie. I just want to introduce myself. And I'm born and raised here in Victor. And so is my dad, so we're a long generation here. So, you know, this is home, and I'd like to welcome you, you know, welcome me here. And I used to work here, so it's just kind of nice to be back here, and hopefully we can have some communication with you. I'd like to hear from you.
Is there possibly a little boy down here with us?
Jake? It's okay, we're not going to hurt you. You want to play hide and seek?
Jake, were you younger than 10?
Are you younger than 16, Jake?
Perhaps it's somebody that worked at the hardware store or owned a hardware store.
I guess the story I just just heard one of our devices.
So did I.
In fact, the train trigger device did go off in the mining equipment room upstairs on the main level. Although we didn't have a camera directly on the device, it was sitting behind a display, and our audio recorder clearly picked up the sound, which was loud enough to be heard in the basement.
Train's in the mining room.
Right.
I've got my camera in there, but I'm not sure if it's on. I got audio recorder in there too.
Yeah, I heard it. And the thing about the train upstairs, it's one that you either have to touch or get within an inch to set it
Very
up.
close.
Okay,
Okay, so
wow.
awesome.
Maybe it feels safer to touch the
Yeah,
place where we're
Yeah, you just feel safe up there.
exactly.
After a while with no further activity, it was time for the group to move on.
Thanks for letting us explore the basement.
Yeah. Feel free to tag along with us, okay?
Feel free to make any kind of noises you want.
Yep.
Come over, check out our equipment.
That's right.
You can knock one of those pieces of equipment on the floor or whatever.
Oh, hello. Did you like that? Did you like the fact that he started playing? When Jaden started playing the piano was when that lit up. You like the sound of a piano? Would you like the piano to be played again?
There's some phone upstairs.
If somebody's upstairs, can you stomp on the floor?
Just maybe walk down the hallway up there.
Jake, if you're here, can you run around? Maybe we should play hide and seek. Or maybe it's the little girl. If it's the little girl, can you run down the hall?
What was that? I'm not sure what the heck it was.
Oh, periscope's going on.
Hey, welcome back. The piano.
You're like a Tommy knocker.
Right before Connie mentions a Tommy knocker, our audio recorder picked up a very quick one-word EVP of what sounds like a small child. This was the only EVP that we picked up during the investigation. Could this be the voice of the young boy named Jake, or perhaps the little girl that is said to haunt this building as well? The voice might be saying hello, but it's hard to say. Meanwhile, we needed to find out what was setting the periscope off on the old pump organ.
Is that a piano?
There you go.
Yeah. You right by me? Can you move down that way, please? To my
Over
left.
here, I'd like to see you. Miss Neal, I'd like to meet you. Just come by me on the stairs if you want.
Just moving that way.
Slowly.
Come on over, you can do it.
You checking this all out?
That's good.
There you go.
Welcome.
Okay. No.
Make your rounds, huh?
That's okay. Is it okay that we're here in this museum?
Are you a girl? Are you a only woman here right now. It'd be nice to have company.
Are you a female? Hold on.
Somebody hate us.
Didn't like you to seem like come over here.
Yeah, that's when was walking right to this room.
Can you do that again? Only louder, please.
There are kids here. Come and just sit next to me or let me feel your presence. I'll give you a hug from my heart.
Well, do you want us to move over to the other side of the wall? Maybe we can leave something here that if you want to play with it or touch it or get up close to it, you're more than welcome to. It's not going to hurt you, I promise. Okay, well, if there's anybody over on this side, we'll leave you be for a little bit.
Oh, we got the periscope again, guys.
Hi.
Are you following us around, or are you somebody new? Let's move a
I
little
think
bit.
it's Jake.
Yeah. Jake, is that you following us around? Huh? Are you playing a game?
We're perfectly fine if you want to follow us.
Yeah, and we like to play games.
I know we were talking about Lowell Thomas. Do you know Lowell Thomas, or do you know of him or about him?
Whoever touched the train earlier, just feel free to do so again. It's free to play with.
I haven't heard that.
Where's Kevin? Did you hear the thump?
Can somebody run upstairs?
Yeah, I heard it too.
Can you make that noise again? Are there any miners that are attached to any of this equipment?
Is there anyone here that maybe was just attached to the building and maybe help build this building?
On his own, Scott headed down to the basement to see if he could communicate with whoever might be down there.
There are any entities, spirits. Jake, maybe you? Or little girl? Just here to find a little bit more about you. Is it okay that we are all here? If there are 3 entities in this building, light up that device. Okay, 3. Thank you. If I get to the name, please move away from that device, okay? Are you Jake? Are you the little girl that's said to be down here? Are you that little girl? Are you Jake? Okay. Ooh, just got the chills.
Meanwhile, Steve, Neil, Connie, and Jaden were up on the second floor in the Lowell Thomas room, hoping to communicate with Lowell Thomas himself.
Mr. Thomas? Sir, we come in respect. Not trying to harm you, scare you, anything like that, but Are you attached to any of these items in this room that belonged to you when you were alive?
Perhaps maybe your father is attached to some of the stuff that of his that's in here.
This whole place is named after you. How do you feel about that?
From the reports that we have, some staff members have refused to come up here, especially by themselves, because many people have claimed to have heard the voice of a little girl. So the voice of the little girl that's been heard up here, we would really like to know your name. So if somebody else hears you, they can call you by name.
Do you recognize Jaden and Connie?
I used to play up here a lot. This is Connie talking.
What year were you born in?
Do you kids like the doll room? Are there more than one? Is there more than one spirit up here with us?
Jaden broke from the team to join Scott, and as they were ascending the stairs to the second floor, the periscope, which measures static electricity, was lighting right by the Victor Adams display. Victor is said to be named after Mr. Adams.
Yeah. It was pointed right at you and then stopped.
Do you know me?
Like how they displayed your things.
My whole left side is a goosebump.
Is it? That is unusual, Jaden, yeah. Okay.
How are you doing?
Can you come back around this way, Mr. Adams?
Do you remember your saddle?
Maybe that's what you're looking for. Keep going around just a little bit more and that's where you'll see it. Can you go around just a little bit more? We appreciate you using that device to let us know that you're here. Thanks for communicating as much as you did.
Is there a female spirit with us here tonight? Are there any children here with us tonight?
Not Pop?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was just standing here. I didn't move.
Yeah, I don't know if it was,
And I'm rocking back and forth on the board.
Is there somebody back there in Dr. Goodman's room?
So I'm just gonna start with some more questions. If the answer is yes after I ask it, that's when we light up the device, okay? Okay. Welcome back. Did you not like me being quiet so much? You know you're stuck on the color red. Is that your favorite color? Okay. A little bit of red, a little bit, that's good. Did I just have to be quiet for a while for you to come back, huh? Do you like all the different colors on that? I think you've just about come through them all. Oh, there's the bright green. Yeah, it's one of the favorites the most. Well, all it took was for me to be quiet. I can do more of that.
Don't be afraid, just come out and talk to us, communicate with us. We're not gonna hurt anyone. We were downstairs earlier. Someone seemed pretty active up here. You don't have to be afraid or be quiet just because we're here. This wasn't a brothel at any one time, was it? I know that's not on record as it was, but could it have been?
Overall, I think it's been a pretty quiet night. We've been focusing a lot on a little girl that people have heard her voice, and also seeing the figure of a boy that they call Jake. So I'm going to move back upstairs and see if I can help the rest of the team out.
Do you have anything going downstairs or basement? Or?
Oh, well, yeah, a little bit. Asking the questions we normally ask and ask how many entities or people were here, and when I said 3, it lit up.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, so. And then Jaden and I put the periscope on the display case for Victor Adams.
Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting.
You had something that went off there?
Well, it went off quite a few times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it would point to it would stop on red, which pointed to like the desk area or the part that was written about his life. And then it would stop at green and point at Jaden.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody here?
I know you've been asked a lot of questions tonight and have been asked to communicate lots already. But we'd like to do it one more time, if that's okay with you, Doctor. If at any point in time we ask a question and the answer is yes, that's when we would like you to please get close to or touch that blue glowing dome looking thing. That gadget will just light up a little bit and let us know that you're aware of what we're asking.
Yeah. I just heard a.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, knock, knock. Dun,
Did
dun.
you guys hear that?
Yeah.
You hear it?
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
I thought maybe somebody coming up the stairs, but it stopped.
1209.
See, I heard that earlier.
Is that what you heard earlier? The room right across the
I
hall?
thought it was a phone.
Yeah, it was out there somewhere.
Yeah. It was almost like they tapped on the glass.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Denman, do you recognize Connie?
Hello?
You should recognize her. She said you delivered her.
Uh-huh. I'm a little bit older now.
Yeah, that red light is trying to, isn't it? There, just faded out though.
Oh, on the periscope?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Denman, is that you? You can do it.
Jake, if you happen to be around, you mischievous little guy, you can go ahead and light it up.
Is that you who tapped on the glass over there in the room across the hall?
Would you like us to leave this room? maybe you're trying to focus on treating a patient. We just don't know. Well, Dr. Denman will leave you alone and just thank you for your service to the community of Victor.
We were never really able to fully determine if the little boy Jake, the little girl who has been seen in this building, or even Victor Adams haunt the old creaky wooden floors of the Victor Lowell Thomas Museum. However, some of the evidence we caught suggests something is going on in this 130-year-old landmark. And while we didn't see Lowell Thomas's glasses move from one room to another, and we didn't see the spirit of a child, we have absolutely no reason not to believe the many staff members and visitors that say they are not alone in the Victor Lowell Thomas Museum.